immediately in my head, I go, oh man, failure is probably the best teacher, which is probably why we're on each of the machines. When it comes to efficiency and technology, we always have to invest in the latest and greatest technology in order to remain as kind of an icon or a go-to product in the world of manufacturing. Because if we're not continually investing in the next greatest thing, then we're falling behind because someone else is. And this is how we do the reshoring. This is how we stay profitable. It all goes into conversations that we have all the time on MTDCNC. I got Matt with me here today, the legend at Fifth Axis Workholding, and we're going to talk a bit about current investments here at Fifth Axis, because I think personally it's important for you guys to see the inside areas of the constant innovation and the constant investments in that technology, so you have the confidence that when you invest in a product like Fifth Axis, you know what you're buying. Again, long-winded, I apologize, Matt, right. But it's important to create that foundation so everyone knows why they're here watching this video. Absolutely. And why they're investing their valuable time in what's going on as well. Time is the most valuable thing.
100%.
So let's talk about, I guess, we have a huge and delicious Hermelay machine behind us with efficiency.
It's very delicious.
But you've also invested in so much other technology to remain as a leader, as a spotlight, as an industry that we need and desire in order to move forward with automation and a lot of other technology.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about those investments from Fifth Axis.
So ownership, Chris and Steve are, big investors in the business. So constantly reinvesting in people, technology, working on, increasing our skill set, all the above. But the equipment's a big thing. So you've seen our shop. We're a bit of a laboratory now where we've got an interesting mix of makes and models. And we do that for a couple reasons. We want the newest technology, so we understand how our work holding fits in, make products that make sense for customers, right? But we also like to work with all the manufacturers and figure out what pain points do they see, pain points that customers see, and how can we solve those? So our constant investment in our own technology makes the product line better and makes our whole organization better. So we've got a better grasp of different automation, different machines, verticals, horizontals, 3-axis, different makes, different models, all the different fits and features that customers are going to run into. We're familiar with all of them. So we make products that make sense. And it's just really exciting to be able to, we always have the coolest toys, and it's great to work with all the OEMs and, work on new projects. And it's not a, standard, here's the thing that we make, just put it on there and sell it. Exactly. We take time with, especially like the guys at Hermelay working on, multi-axis pyramid, like you see the angles, what makes sense, the tilt of the table, the size of the pallet, so that everything's thought out, where it is standard products, but they're somewhat tailored to your application. That's really what we do.
Yeah, let's continue to walk a little bit, because it's one of the first times, if not the only time, that you've allowed an audience to see your top secret
you're one of the only people in this building.
Which is kind of neat. So we're going to do a walk and talk here. Now, you mentioned, which I think is awesome as well, and incredibly fascinating, you mentioned that you have a lot of different machines because you want to test the products to make sure that the people you're working with receive the best product for them, right?
Absolutely.
And immediately in my head, I go, oh man, failure is probably the best teacher, which is probably why we're on each of the machines. So while failure might be difficult, if you're doing it for me, thank you for that.
Exactly.
So I can have immediate success.
100%.
That's part of what goes into the whole learning curve of investing, as we see a Micron machine right behind us. And in your main facility, I mean, it's one after another, and we could list the entire manufacturing world if we wanted to, because you have just about everything there.
We do.
That's kind of the purpose of it, right?
100%. We want to learn about everything from the machine to the control and, hooking up automation, working on the work holding. What are those pain points, right? There's no better teacher than doing it yourself. So we're unique in that aspect. Not too many people kind of treat the shop where you're making products as a laboratory to also figure out, what fits. And we also were able to build those relationships with all the manufacturers, which is great. So we know going in what products make sense, and every little machine. It has its little nuances. So it's great to know when we put a product out there that there's no surprises. That's the big thing. We've already vetted it. We know kind of the unique things about each brand and model, which just gives us a great, background to design new products.
Yeah, it's important. And I don't want to get too long-winded in this conversation. The real point of why we wanted to create this video for you guys today, and I'm grateful that Matt's here and Fifth Axis allowed us to come in, is because even though we'd love to invite the entire world to hop on a plane, that might not be environmentally friendly,
Probably
first of all.
not.
And then secondly, it may not be entirely cost effective.
Exactly.
So if we can bring this to you, if we are allowed to come into the doors so that you around the world can see the investment firsthand of what Fifth Axis is doing, you have the confidence to know that when you invest in American manufacturing and American technology, it comes with the service and support. It comes with the quality. It comes with the precision and in constant innovation as well.
100%. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. We never want to stop innovating. There's an endless amount of things to do, and technology's changing so fast. You got to stay on the cutting edge. So that's what we're all about.
Never stop innovating. This is what Fifth Axis is all about. For those of you out there, fifthaxis.com, look them up. Most of you probably already have, but if you haven't, this is where to find them. And I'm grateful that you've spent time with us today, and I'm grateful that you've allowed us to share your story.
Thank you, always. Yeah. Cheers.